Okay. Okay, so we'll keep it simple. This will be my first stream. So if anyone notices any issues, please do say. And today what I'm going to do is I'm taking a look at mining and trying to figure out, is there anything more profitable than the current void opal craze? So we've just sold a load of void opals and recorded how much we actually got. So I am just going to restock up on limpets, and we're going to go and take a look at low temperature diamonds. The idea being, if you can get more low temperature diamonds, then you can get void opals because you can get them from things other than cores. Can you actually get more money? Going to find out. Going to be doing this for about an hour and then move on to another part of the testing. Okay, so we've restocked the limpets. Let's select our mining system. What shall we go for? That one. Okay, we're not going to run out of fuel on the way, and we can possibly refuel there as well. I'm currently not running with a fuel scoop, so I have to be careful that I don't end up doing something that results in me calling out the fuel rats. Just going to check if the audio is coming through okay. Excellent, that was clear. So, without further ado then, we will get on our way. So we got about 3 jumps to our target system. It's the system I'm going to use for all the mining tests, just to keep the results consistent. It's in the bubble, but it is a lawless system. There's no habitation there. So hopefully it's not attracting too much attention from other miners. And as it's not right next door to anywhere that I'm aware of that's selling void opals for a high price, it should be a pretty good bet for a test system. Okay. So, this should take us 3 jumps, I believe. This Connor's got a reasonable jump range, so we shouldn't use up all our fuel getting there. Is this system mapped? Okay, so the system was already known. That's why there's no first discovered, and it's already been mapped. Well, we won't hang around. We'll get on with the testing. Would help if I was in game. beginner mistakes.
Frameshift drive charging.
That looks all right.
3, 2.
So hopefully I won't run into any pirates while I am only carrying limpets, but it has been known, so I do need to pay attention to what's going on around me. So a few things I do when I jump into a system, I like to see if maybe it's unexplored, so maybe I can pick up a few additional exploration credits. I'm going to fire off a pulse. The other thing is to keep an eye on anything that immediately appears as I've jumped into the system, because if I see a ship that's effectively waiting there for me, a very good chance it's a pirate. Now this ship can defend itself, so I'm not exactly worried about pirates that much. At the very least I can run away from them. But it's best not to be taken by surprise by these things. That's how you get yourself into a panic. So LFT-65 is our test system.
4, 3, 2.
As you can see, a fine example of a white dwarf star, which we will not be trying to scoop from. And we are interested in LFT-65-1, which has pristine reserves and a nice icy ring. So I just want to be careful maneuvering around the white dwarf, because that would be a good way to a bad start if we end up in that jet code. Right. Okay, so just checking the stats on the stream. Good, we've got no rendering problems. And on my other terminal that is looking reasonable. So, well, aha! Thank God for that. So it's remembered my last time I came here. When I scanned, I was in the Void Opals hotspot before. I dropped in on the edge of it, about 10,000 clicks from the center of the hotspot. And I got 2 Void Opal cores and a low temperature diamond core. And that altogether netted me let's see, 70 million. The low temperature diamond core was worth about 14 million. Each of the void opal cores I got was worth about 28 million. So if those figures bear out, low temperature diamonds are going to have to be a lot more accessible than void opals to make up that difference. And last time I managed to get a total of 3 cores in the course of an hour, and I got 48 tons, 34 tons of void opals and 14 tons of low temperature diamonds. So we do have a mining laser, so if we come across any rocks We can burn fragments off of the surface, no problem. But for now, we will be ready for combat because there may well be a pirate when we jump in. I'm not going to turn up a free bounty. Oh, wait a second. I can't tell the extent of this hotspot. Right, so although it's remembered that the hotspot is there, it has not remembered how far it extends. And I don't want to jump into the center of the hotspot because other people may well have done that. And therefore it might be somewhat depleted. I want to jump into an edge. That also keeps the test a bit fairer with what I did with the void opals. So let us switch to analysis mode. Okay. I think I didn't realise you have to be in analysis mode. See this? That's useful. Okay, let's head out towards the edge. Ideally, I want to get about 10 megameters or 10,000 kilometers. Because that's the distance I dropped in on the void opals. So if we start angling down, I think it was about 10.8. And there we go. Right. So first things first, Buford can get into his fighter.
Commencing fighter deployment.
There's a ship that may well be.
SLS is online. Standing by.
Scan detected.
Okay, so you are indeed a pirate. Right. So I'm just dialing in the power plant in preparation. Let's see what you are worth. 68,000. And you have no cargo, so there's absolutely no point me firing hatch breakers. But I'm not going to turn down. Now, this is going to be very one-sided. I might even having to use the multi-cannons. Yeah, he's not even getting through my shields. You're jumping far too late. Okay, so let's see what materials we've got. I could do with some of them. Pull on those. Pull on that. Pull on that. Pull on that. But you may as well pick up the filament composite. Always worthwhile picking up materials, even if they're not the ones you're actually looking for, because the materials trader means that you can usually trade them for something that you do actually want. Okay. Let's get the last filament composite. I think there was only two. Yeah. The rest of those I'm not going to collect because I'm full on them. Right. So the plan is we head towards the centre of the hotspot. We fire the pulse. We are looking for cores as well, but we will also drop a few prospectors around anything that we decide to check for cores.
Cargo scoop.
Speed up a bit by putting the cargo scoop in. Probably too far away at the moment for them to show up properly bright. That looks interesting. Okay, that might not be bright enough to be a core, although it is showing some nice cracking which disappears. So first pulse, first of all the cracks, then it goes bright orange. That might be a core, but it might well not be. Okay, so let's switch on the night vision. Right, what we're doing now is we are looking to see if we can perhaps get any features. Now, there's not really enough black cracking showing up on the second part. Yeah, I don't think this is going to have any fissures. Might be a fissure there. However, we're also looking to mine low temperature diamonds from the surface as well. So we might as well drop a few prospectors here.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Okay, no core, no low temperature diamonds.
Asteroid scan complete. Programming limpet drone.
This doesn't have a core, but it might have some low temperature diamonds.
Prospector limpet
No.
engaged.
Okay, that's a bright one. Shape looks wrong for a core. There's a surface deposit showing up in the night vision. Yeah, that's not really dark enough. Not enough black cracking in there to be a core.
Prospector limpet failed.
Okay,
Prospector limpet engaged.
that's just water. Oh, well, that's a good shape right in front of me. But it's not showing any features, so it's certainly not. But we don't want to be too stingy in here with the prospectors, because we are trying to find low temperature diamonds and they can be found in places other than cores.
Prospector limpet engaged.
But not there. Okay, couple of pulses. Nothing particularly stands out from the price of being a core. I think really bright orange.
Asteroid scan complete.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, that might be a good shape, but might be a bit small. Don't think that's going to be a core. But it's certainly got some features. It's quite bright. not really showing enough of the black lines or spots, so probably not going to be. There's obviously a service deposit there, you can see that on the night vision. So we'll put a prospector on it.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Yeah, no core, which we knew, and no low temperature diamonds. Oh, that's very bright.
Asteroid scan complete.
Oops. This is why you want good shields on a mining ship. Okay, that was quite bright. Could be interesting. Slow down as we approach. Okay, obviously some service deposits. Night vision isn't really showing any fissures, and that's very minimal in terms of black lines, so almost certainly not a core. But let's see if there's any low temperature diamonds.
Prospector limpet engaged.
No. Okay. We have a candidate. That looks quite bright. Surface deposit, but the amount of black lines coming up isn't great. Night
Asteroid
vision.
scan complete. Programming
No,
lizard drone.
not sure. I've not got my eye in yet for cores, so always a bit tricky.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Okay, nothing there. So the idea with all these tests is there are going to be a number of different tests I'm going to want to do, and I'll write up some results of it. Expecting void opens to probably be the most profitable, but I just want to prove it. Okay. Ain't showing up particularly bright. Let's see. Well, that could be a good shape. Showing some cracking. No,
Programming lizard drone.
that's not going to do it.
Prospector limpet
But
engaged.
and no low temperature diamonds.
Asteroid
Okay, so we've been doing this now for about almost 15 minutes, and I have not found a core yet. And I'm averaging about 2 to 3 cores an hour at the moment. So it's slow going. We'll be doing some research into methods to try and improve that. But right now, I'm not particularly good at this. Okay, that's not going to have a core. We'll drop a prospector into it in case there's any low temperature diamonds on the surface.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Nope.
Asteroid scan complete.
And we carry on. Looks quite bright. Not as bright as I would like. Some cracks are showing on the pulse. Looks quite good. That's quite a lot of crack in there. See how it looks when I get closer. Okay, starts to go away, which is a shame. Let us see if there are... It might be... hard to say.
Programming limpet drone.
Let's put a prospector on it and see what's what.
Prospector limpet engaged.
No. Okay. That might be a possibility. Quite bright. There are some black cracks. There are quite a few black cracks there. Starts to go away as you get a lot closer though. The shape is good.
Programming limpet drone.
Let's drop a prospector on it.
Prospector limpet engaged.
No, okay. So just in case of low temperature diamonds, we're going to drop
Asteroid scan complete.
a
Programming
prospector
limpet
here as well.
Prospector limpet engaged.
That's just water. Okay. It's almost certainly not a core. What's this one? Oh, that was quite bright. Okay. Yeah, it's not looking as good now. Now that we're closer.
Programming limpet drone.
We'll put a prospector on it.
Failed. Asteroid
Looks
scan
like
complete.
we have another couple of ships.
Prospector limpet engaged.
But they are out of scanner range, so at the moment they're not a problem. Okay, so we've now been going for just over 15 minutes. It would be nice to get a core at least in the first half an hour. That's quite bright. Just peeking out there from behind that other one. And that one there as well, off to the right. Not.
Programming limpet drone.
Well, there's some surface deposits, but nothing that I can clearly see as a fissure.
Prospector limpet engaged.
No core, no low temperature diamonds, regardless.
Asteroid
So let's carry on our way. Okay, so wait a second. We got some bright ones here. 1, 2, 3. All quite bright. Now, the closer I get to the other ones, they come outside the field of view of the pulse. So there could be a couple of possibilities here. Because there's one off to the right there, and there's one directly in front of me. That one off to the right looks particularly interesting, so we don't want to lose that. Okay, now that one is not showing as much in the way of black lines, so probably not.
Programming limpet drone.
Got a prospector into it.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Okay, no core, no low temperature diamonds. But we do also have this one. And that's showing some very nice black lines on the second and subsequent pulses, which is an indicator of cores. How good an indicator it is, we're about to find out. That's nice and bright, but in the first part of the pulse shows some good black lines.
Asteroid scan complete.
So let's just have a look at it. That right in front of us might well be a fissure.
Programming limpet drone.
Got a prospector into that. It's 20 minutes now. So if I'm averaging 2 to 3 cores an hour, it's about time I found one.
Prospector limpet.
Right, so it is a core, but it's bromellite. So I'm just going to check on Inara.
Complete.
I don't think that's going to be anywhere near the price I want. Bromellite, yeah, best selling price is about 8,800 credits. That unfortunately is a waste of my time. So, we move on. Now, that doesn't look as bright. Okay, that's probably not bright enough. I'd love to. Some of the graphical artifacts you get look very, very weird. Okay, so compared to that other one where we had a core, that's not really showing enough black lines.
Programming limpet drone.
So I'm just going to put a prospector into it.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Prospector, low
Asteroid scan.
temperature diamonds. Ooh, that looks nice and bright. Got some black lines. And the one off to the left there. But we don't want to lose the one off to the left. Bit in the condor in between the rocks. That's nice and bright. Now if that starts to show significant black lines like that, that could well be a core. Yeah, it's not the first pulse that the black lines turn up, it's the second and every pulse thereafter, so you have to hold the pulse wave down. That definitely looks like a core. Okay. Well, might be a fissure there. Let's put a prospector into it and find out one way or another. Success. We have low temperature diamond core. Right. We're going to crack this then. First thing is we want to make sure that there are no other low temperature diamonds. So high strength, low strength, high strength, low strength, low strength. Okay, so there's plenty of low strength cores. Switch over to the charge. Okay, that one's a little bit closer. So, what we want to do is we want to put a high strength charge into this one. Hold the trigger down for a while. Fire. High strength charge set. That's another low. We're going to put one in there. Slightly. That was a medium charge. We've got a low strength, so we're going to have to be careful. Trolling me. Average strength, okay, so let's try not too much. Right, cancel that one. Disarm that. A high strength. Right, we've still got 60 seconds. This rock is not playing. Right, that's an average. I've got 40 seconds. Let's just that perfect. Now let's back away and put pips into shields. And let's blow the rock.
Detonation in 10 seconds.
And watch the show. "11 resource chunks freed."
Taking out my shields, performing evasive maneuvers.
Okay, so the fighter lost the shields. So we've got low temperature diamonds that will require the abrasion blaster. And we've got a number floating free.
Cargo scoop deployed.
So let's get the collector limpets out there.
Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone.
Okay, so at this point we're approaching the half-hour mark on an hour-long test.
Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone.
Okay, so while those are doing that, we can start trying to target so we want to move gently round here. Note the heat, by the way. Okay, I think we actually got 2 bits there. I do actually have 2 abrasion blasters on this. I'm not clear on whether or not it is a bug that if you manage to hit with more than 1 abrasion blaster you can get more than 1 fragment. It was first noticed a while back, so if it hasn't been fixed yet. So this is potentially inflating my yield above and beyond what I would normally have got. That looked like 2. I think I must have missed that one. Yeah, that was a miss. That wasn't. So I think that's only just 1 fragment. Just moving around gently because all the time I've got collector limpets coming in. And if I bump into them too hard, I risk breaking them. So let's see that. That one there is greyed out. That means it's on the other side of the rock. So I'm just gently coming round. I'm getting no valid collection target because all the free ones have been found. Let's keep them busy, shall we? There we go. It does seem that when you get 2 circles from the abrasion blaster that you will actually get more than 1 fragment. Also note that was out of range, so we're going to go in very close. Okay. I might be wrong there because that looked to me like 2. Yeah, that was 2. Okay, so I was wrong about. And we've got this one. And that one's come round. Right. So now what we do, all of those have got that particular icon by them, which means they are free floating. So now I wait for my collectors to do their thing, because this is an anaconda and I'm not manoeuvring in between those rocks if I don't have to. Almost done. Right, so
Cargo scoop retracted.
raise my okay. So I'm in the middle of a dust cloud at the moment, which means that everything is a bit dampened in terms of brightness of signal. Looks absolutely marvellous, but it means it's not easy to find my next rock while I'm in the middle of all of this. Just coming out of it. That does not look like that one will be a core, surface deposit, or a small intermediary rock now. We'll put Prospector into it because I've only got half an hour of the test left and I've got over 100 limpets. You really don't need lots and lots of limpets for core mining.
Prospector limpet engaged.
That's a good shape. Okay, but no brightness on the pulse wave. We'll just drop a Prospector into it on the off chance there's some low temperature diamonds I can burn off the surface.
Prospector limpet engaged.
And there are not. It's got me thinking that quite possibly low temperature diamonds can now only be found in a core. So I'll have to do some research on that. Look up to see what people are saying. You used to be able to burn them off the surface, although they certainly weren't common. So it's entirely possible that, you know, we could be doing this and still not have found a rock under the old system. So we got a few bright ones there, and with some nice cracking. So just in front of the rock. Back up a bit.
Prospector limpet engaged.
So there was another one over here somewhere that was quite bright. There it is. Any good cracking on it? Yeah, it's a possibility. And there was this one up here that was also very bright. Okay.
Asteroid scan complete.
So we will. Yeah, not conclusive.
Programming lifted drone.
So
Prospector limpet engaged.
nothing there. It's the next bright one we saw. Very little in the way of cracks.
Asteroid scan complete. Programming limpet drone.
Surface. No, not a surface deposit. There's a little piece of rock between us.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Okay. Based on what we already know, that's not going to have a core in.
Programming lifted drone. Prospector limpet
So,
failed. Asteroid
just in case, we've got plenty of limpets.
Prospector limpet engaged.
It's just water. What's this? Possibility? Doesn't really stand out at this range. That's not enough black lines.
Prospector limpet failed. Asteroid scan complete.
We're up to 35 minutes and I found one, well, I found two cores,
Prospector limpet engaged.
but one of them was bromellite. So that was a bust. That one over there. That was bright enough to stand out from the distance.
Asteroid scan complete.
Ooh, that's looking hopeful. Very distinctive black lines showing up. Very, very distinctive black lines. So that's looking very much like it could well have a core in it. Question will be, what kind of core? It's got the sort of popcorn, garlic bulb shape.
Programming limpet drone.
Can't make out of fissures by eye, although there are a couple of things that could be.
Prospector limpet
Core, low temperature diamonds. Right, and it's got low temperature diamonds on minerals remaining. So we're going to do this one slightly differently. First thing we're going to do, before we crack the rock, is we're going to look for any deposits like that, which is a surface deposit. Oh. So open the cargo scoop.
deployed.
So this is telling me that this is a surface deposit with a low temperature diamond. And this is actually quite important because it shows that low temperature diamonds still occur as they used to, and it's not a case of they've been removed or anything. That's a subsurface deposit, unfortunately. Right, I don't have the displacement missiles. So what we are going to do is switch to the mining laser and see if we can burn off some fragments from the surface. We want pips into power, and what we just need to do is, we're collecting low temperature diamond. So We have 16 tons of low temperature diamonds before. If we get over 32 tons, that would be quite interesting. Where's my prospector? Okay, that's saying that has... Right, all my collectors have expired.
Programming linked drone. Programming linked drone. Programming linked drone.
Okay. So we got a couple of extra tons out of this. But that's all. Switch over to the seismic charges. Let's start looking for fissures. High, low, low, average, low, low. Let's take that low. Right. We are going to drop a high strength charge into this low fissure.
Detonation sequence initiated.
Right. That's also a low. So we are going to drop another high strength charge. Okay. 2 high strength charges into 2 low fissures and I'm nicely in the blue. We will go a little bit further back last time because this cost my fighter his shields. And he wasn't happy with me.
Detonation in 10 seconds.
I love this bit. $14 resource chunks free. We had 11 last time.
My shield generator is offline.
And he's lost his shields again. He really needs to learn better. He really does. Right. This is looking exceedingly profitable. So we can start using the abrasion blasters as well. This. Perhaps I should get closer. Ah, he's behind. Straight out now. He rotated. Okay, yeah, the rock's rotating just so that those deposits are just, yeah, like that one there, just going behind. Just as I'm trying to fire on them. They are trolling me. The rock is trolling me. Okay. There we go. That looked like a couple of fragments. Getting a bit closer. That looks good. Right. No. They've gone behind. Okay, those ones there. Glad to say I didn't blow up my own collector with the abrasion blaster. That would have been embarrassing, to say the least. I'm not sure if you can do that. Right. go. That one there. Yep. Rocks in the way.
Collector limpet expired.
Okay, for a collector limpet to expire that soon, it hit something. Maybe me, maybe something else. But it had an accident. I might be moving too fast. Well, I got loads of limpets, so I can afford to lose a few if needs be. There we go. That looked like another 2. So, one of the things with multiple abrasion blasters is hardpoint placement. I have got mine on the 2 class 1s at the rear bottom of the Anaconda, and it's working quite well from there. It looks like we've got 2 left, which are both I haven't got line of sight on. So what I'm going to do is just fly around here. That's 1 we've now got line of sight on. That's 2 we've now got line of sight on. Target that one. Looks like just 1 chunk. Oh, look like 2 chunks. Right. And you can see there that the icon is they're all free floating. So now we just have to wait. 34 tons of low temperature diamonds after 45 minutes of testing. 35 tons, probably get up to 36. We would probably need another core to a decent amount. 36 tons of low temperature diamonds, so we're 15 minutes left on this test. Back to the pulse wave. That looks quite bright. That's showing some nice black lines at a distance. Will they become more extensive? Well, they are so far. That is looking like that could be another core. That is looking very core-like. That looks quite probable. Let's put a prospector into it and see. No core. I'm surprised. Okay, it won't give me the coloration again now. There was no low temperature diamonds. Okay, some black lines, but not as bright. Probably not a core in here. Almost certainly not a core in there. No, and no low temperature diamonds. That's the other one we saw that was bright. Surface deposit. Some nice black lines. But fading away now we're getting closer. So probably not any kind of a core. Will there be low temperature diamonds? No. Okay. That could be a good shape, very much like popcorn or a garlic bud, depending on which you prefer. Not really bright though. Okay. Probably not enough black lines there for that to be a core. But we've still got over 100, so, and we are looking for low temperature diamonds, and they're not just in cores. Okay, so this is interesting. No core, but low temperature diamonds are present. Looks like there's a subsurface deposit and a surface deposit, which I could take off with the abrasion blaster. So first thing we're going to do is this surface deposit. There we go, I managed to get 2. Right, so it's at 36, the refinery is 19. Okay, is that collected then? I don't think I actually knocked anything off. That must just have been the graphics. Okay, that was weird. I would have sworn that I'd hit that and it came off, but the collectors did not go and do anything. I'm missing it. 10 minutes of the test left. There we go. Right, let's get the collectors back out there. Okay, so 19% and 36 tons. Right. Cool. Spectre. Right, so that says so we've got water, methane, chlorite, low temperature diamonds. It's going to take us a while, unfortunately, to burn these off. I've only got one laser on here. I've got everything but the low temperature diamonds on my ignore list. They're about 50% through. Problem is that each of those fragments, based on the percentage listed there of 8.72%, is going to be about 4.3 to 8.7% of a ton, which means each of these fragments I'm picking up is just a tiny fraction of what you'd get from a deposit. Whereas a deposit is probably a good 60%. So given the fact that they're low temperature diamonds are not exactly frequent to burn off in this way, I've got 2 low temperature diamond cores. It's not looking like a low temperature diamond hotspot is going to get you much better than void opals. The only time you would, if that's the case, that you would want to prioritize low temperature diamonds over void opals would be if for some reason the price is reversed. Void opals really dropped, but low temperature diamonds were still worth, say, 1,000,000 credits a ton. And the other reason might be if just the area you're in and you don't want to travel further than that area, the void opals are depleted, but low temperature diamonds are still there. So we're still at 37 tons of low temperature diamonds. Okay. Right. We've still got some fragments out. Yeah, there's still a few fragments, but each one of those fragments is going to be a very small fraction of a ton. We've got up to 38 tons, but really it's not making up the difference in value. So that's a pity. The low temperature diamonds, even when for burning off on a mining laser, have always been rare. It's always been, I would say that they were rarer than panite. So although cores will improve your yield because you can see cores from further away, whereas on the surface your only way forward is just basically to fire a prospector into it and hope, it's not great. It's not great. Okay, that's a subsurface deposit, but I cannot get to that. Oh well. I'll just have to get good with displacement missiles one day. Okay, looks like we're coming to the end of the fragments. So as that comes in, apparently 77, 81. So as an example, that was about 4%. Which, given that this was 8.7% low temperature diamonds, is what I would expect. Right. So we are virtually at the end of this test. Got a couple of minutes left to run. Don't think I'm going to find any cores because that certainly doesn't look like a possibility. No. Low temperature diamonds, 8.43%. Right, so that's a subsurface deposit. So I can't access that, but I can use this. So this will be our last rock for this part of the testing. I seem to be down a few collectors, so let's fire a few more out there.
Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone.
Right. %30 of the rock left. Vanadium. Interesting.
Asteroid depleted.
Okay. So 39 tons of low temperature diamonds from an hour in the low temperature diamond hotspot does not compare well with 34 tons of void opals and 14 tons of low temperature diamonds from a void opal hotspot. Basically, this is not going to end up at the same level of money. The availability of low temperature diamonds be burnt off of the surface of the asteroids using mining lasers because the percentages are so low, because the availability of them, the number of asteroids I checked had them was so low, does not make up the difference in value between the cores for void opals and for low temperature diamonds. The low temperature diamonds are present on the surface of rocks that can be accessed from a mining laser, and they are present in subsurface deposits and surface deposits, which you want to deal with before you go blowing cores. So, and we've got 39. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a very quick break. Been streaming now for about an hour, just need to nip to the toilet. So just going to go to be right back screen, and I'll be back with you in a moment.
Collector limpet expired.
Okay, I'm back. And yeah, mic's off mute. Right. So, I've just checked on Inara. And Inara is showing that overnight the price of low temperature diamonds has dropped by about 160,000 credits a ton. So there is just no way that low temperature diamonds right now could possibly compete with void opals, because the void opals, unless the market has dropped there, no, void opals are okay. That's interesting. Right, so void opals are still at 1.6 million a ton, but different pages on Inara are showing different things for low temperature diamonds. So okay. So yeah, there's a number of places where you can sell void opals at the moment for 1.6 million a ton. But low temperature diamonds, okay, so this is a little bit inconclusive. So what I'm confused about is that Inara is telling me when I look at the best sell prices for low temperature diamonds, the list of stations tops out at 843,000 credits. But the maximum sell price it gives me is 994,000. So it's not telling me where I can get stuff for 994,000. So what I'm just going to do is check EDDB. And let's see if I can figure out if there might be anywhere close where I can sell low temperature diamonds for 994,000 credits, which is eminently preferable. So EDDB is saying the maximum sell price is 952,000. Okay, so what EDDB is revealing to me, which Inara was not, is that there is only one place, which is a medium pad, which will buy low temperature diamonds for 952,000. Everywhere else is 843, and in fact the nearest large pad, sorry, not the nearest large pad, the only large pad in the high price bracket is at 843. So I can't sell from this Anaconda at over 900,000. So what we're going to do is, I believe there is a panite hotspot in this system. So we're going to continue the testing. But we are going to go and spend a bit of time in a panite. I do like the sound in this game. Right, looks like the inner ring isn't scanned. I'm not seeing anything. Okay, so we are going to recall our fighter.
Roger that. Initiating automated retrieval.
We're going to head away from the ring.
Cargo scope retracted.
Okay,
Fighter is locked down. We're good to go.
we have
Commander.
our fighter. We're going to jump to Super Cruise, rescan the inner ring with a surface probe, find out if there are any panite hotspots.
Cannot comply. Collector limpet expired. Frameshift drive charging.
And take it from there.
4, 3,
So we don't want to travel too far. Yeah, it's only showing me what I would expect to be hotspots in the outer ring from the names of the materials. That will hopefully be far enough. Let us turn around. There you can see that low temperature diamond hotspot is very big. What you can also see here is there's an outer and an inner ring. And let me just check. Is the inner ring metallic? No, the inner ring is metal rich. Now we don't want that for these tests purposes. We want pristine metallic. We want the best possible results. I'll just check that one as well. Right then. So we are going to head to LFT 65 planet number 4. Actually, we may as well just fire off a surface probe here into the inner ring. See what it says. What is revealed. What do you mean too far for probe deployment? I find that hard to believe, but I think that is probably a bug. Because I'm certainly not too far for probe deployment. Right. Okay, for some reason that seems to be a bit bugged. Yeah, well, fair enough. I mean, it's bug for the planet as well. Okay, I'm not entirely sure why that is. I will need to investigate that. Right, so LFT 65 planet 4. Let us head over there. Let us also just make a note here. I had 39 tons of low temperature diamonds. So on my little spreadsheet, I will record 39 tons. The 39 tons of low temperature diamonds does not add up to the same amount of money as 14 tons of low temperature diamonds and 34 tons of void opals. So that low temperature diamond hotspot was definitely not worth it in comparison to the void opals. Also, the price of void opals has been quite steady as long as you're prepared to travel at 1.6 million, whereas the price of low temperature diamonds fluctuates a lot more. I can no longer get it more than 840,000 a ton. So it is not looking like at the moment that a cunning plan might be to hit low temperature diamond hotspots rather than the void opal hotspots that everyone else is flocking to, just to try and end up making more money. Right, so out of interest, let's just scan the system. Okay, gotta do the pulse. See if there's any resource extraction zones. So I've mapped all the bodies. Rated emissions. It doesn't look like there's... Just looking to see if there's any interesting signal sources. These all look like they are degraded emissions threat 0. Not really very interesting. More degraded emissions. Yeah, not much showing up. Okay, let's come out of there and proceed on our way. So it doesn't look like there's any rest sites, but given that this is an unpopulated system, that shouldn't be a complete surprise. Right. So, LFT 654, this body here, has an inner ring of metallic and an outer ring of rocky. We are going to drop probes into both rings so that we can see what sorts of hotspots might be found here. Okay, we're getting closer. Just want to be cautious. Yeah, I would have expected my surface scanner to... Now this is interesting because this is again saying I'm too far for probe deployment, which is really not the case. Let's just look there and see if, you know... No, that's not going to do it. Okay, I think we got a bug here. So what I'm going to do is just bear with me. We are going to log out. We were in solo. We will drop into a private group. We'll take Psyches, because that's the top of the list. And we will see right, so to access
Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage. 4, 3, 2.
okay, so we've got to be in super crew to use the surface probes. Aha, right, surface scanner is now showing blue, so it's able to be used, which is good, but why I had to relog to do that I don't know. I will need to take a look. Don't want that. I want Go there. Target that so that I can actually see it properly. Right. There we go. So I'll do both rings while we're here.
Surface scan complete.
Okay, and oh, some nice hotspots there. Curling in.
Surface scan complete.
But potentially no hotspots at all, which is a pity. So it does not look as if we have a Panite hotspot, because the next test I want to do is Panite, because at the moment, in terms of commodities, Panite is selling for 789,000, so even less than the low temperature diamonds. But if you can pull a lot more Panite out of a hotspot, then it might be worthwhile. Okay. So Serendipite, which we have there, is showing a maximum sell of 957,000. Benny Tuite is showing a maximum sell of 1.1 million. That's interesting. Let's take a closer look at that. Their sale prices on Inara. Quite a number of places will give you 1.1 million. And there's even some large pads. But as far as I know, that is only a core mineral. So unlike low temperature diamonds, you couldn't use a mining laser to get them. You would have to just blow cores, and there's just no way that's going to do much unless they're much, much better off. The disappointing thing is there's no Panite hotspot. So, you'll just bear with me. I am going to jump into the pristine ring finder. So wait a second here. Okay. Let's make that visible. Unlock it. So this is basically so you can see what I'm looking at. Okay, so I go back to here. Now I need to find pristine ring with panites. Well, pristine metallic ring. And then I'm going to go looking for panite hotspots. So to do that, I need to use a tool, and the one that I prefer to use, there we go, pristine metallic, it's this one. So this is edtools.ddns.net. Okay, so it is telling me that HR8514 might well be my next best bet. There's also LHS 2661. Okay. So, what we're going to do is, I'm just going to close the browser source. Okay. So we want to look at HR 8514. It's in an investment state, and that seems to be indicative of high potential profits. Rocky rings, metal rich and rocky, metallic, going to be close to the station. Rocky, metal rich. No icy rings. Those asteroids are metallic though. That's interesting. Okay, so there's a station in the system which is relatively nice. But if I jump there from here, the way it's suggesting, I'm going to end up calling the fuel rats. So I'm going to have to rethink how I get there. That default route is not going to work. Right. Let's just get away from this planet. Right, let's just go back into my route options. I'm not using jet cones because I don't have a fuel scoop on this ship. I'm using the space for other things. So let's set my filters to let's try allegiance. Apply that filter to the route. Right, okay. Now the reason I did that is for a system to be aligned to someone, it needs to be a system which is a population. And if it has a population, there will be stations. Now it's suggesting that I jump there, but I can't see into that system. So I don't know what size pads they've got, or how well that will do. However, this one, yeah, 10,000 light seconds. That's not ideal. (1,287 light seconds). Right, we're going to go there for refueling. 1,287 light seconds is not fast. Switched me. I hadn't plotted the route properly. There we go. Right. Civil liberty state. Wonderful. Right. So. Targeted the station. Very pretty. Ooh, unidentified signal source. Well, if you're just going to fall into my lap. Degraded emissions. Threat free. Well, that could be potentially interesting. There's a threat involved. Federal Security Service. Will I get any data from you? No, stingy. Encoded emissions. Very interesting. Threat zero. Okay. Basic rule of thumb is I don't turn down the opportunity to make a bit of a profit. That's a threat free. That could be interesting. I have analysis mode. Pips are set for basic combat. Okay. So we're going to drop in here, see what's what, maybe have a bit of fun before we head over to the station to refuel and then carry on our way to our chosen pristine metallic ring in HR8514. The only problem with doing a bit of research on mining is it's not necessarily greatly exciting and a fancy little break. So this is a degraded emissions threat free, which means I'm expecting at the very least there to be some pirates, but it is aligned to a faction that are in war, so it may be a bit more involved, a bit more of a scenario here. Okay, we can drop. Deploy the hard points because it said this was a threat free and I've got no ship showing. All illegal salvage, but there's a lot of it. There's a canister of panite. Well, well, well. Okay. Cobalt, aluminium. Let's look at prices. Cobalt, 797. Aluminium, 554. Copper, 672. The prices on all of those are ridiculously low. And given that I'll only get about 3/4 of the price, it's not worth the effort. But there's a single canister of panite, and the reason that's there is there are pirates waiting. That's the trap. So let's spring it.
Understood. Booting up telepresence for fighter control. Fighter deployed. I'm here if you need me.
Now, as much as I would like to take the panite, I'm not going to straight away. Because I would have expected pirates to have popped at this point. Let's check the system out. This is a low security system. Okay. And the port I'm going to refuel
Main fuel tank
has...
low.
Right.
Programming limpet drone. Cargo scoop
I
deployed.
just want the panite, I don't want the rest.
Collector limpet expired.
Commencing recovery, Commander.
Cargo scoop
Stand by.
retracted.
No pirates, no system security, no troubles of any kind. Don't care about those other canisters, they were all low value items. That panite might only be worth 40,000 credits, but I was interested to see what was going on.
Cannot comply.
Hard points.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
So that's a bit weird because that was a degraded emissions threat free and something should have happened when I dropped in there, and yet nothing did. Okay, well, part of the thing with Elite is you don't just want to grind or do the same thing all the time. You want to take some time and explore and try things. So I am going to take that advice and I'm going to see what's up with these degraded emissions threat free. Then I will get refueled and on to the pristine metallic ring, and we'll see if panite can outperform void opals, which seems doubtful, but that's the purpose of the test. Low temperature diamonds didn't. Can panite manage it? So, Norga, is it? There's no threat to me. Alright. We will carry on our way. Ah! Curtis Ledger. There you go. Well, that's your mistake, mate. You...
Copy. Deploying the fighter.
Yeah. You are not going to be a problem.
Awaiting orders.
Reversing up. Scanning him. May as well bring the turrets to bear. Sue. Let's see who you are. You are worth... yeah. And you've got some liquor.
Shields offline.
I'm not bothered about your
Power
cargo.
systems.
Let's take him out.
Hull integrity depleted. I'm at 50%.
The purpose of the fighter in this case is to distract Curtis.
Cover me, Commander. My shield generator is offline.
While I finish him off. I'm using corrosive shells. As you can see, Curtis has lost his shields and about a third of his hull, and my outer rigger shields isn't even. bothered yet. Fighter really needs to be...
Cannot comply.
That's interesting. Right, there's no point using the multi-cannons right now because he was chaffing.
No can do, Commander.
You may as well come back on board
Unable to
because this is
comply.
over.
Sky is clear. No more targets. Target
Right.
destroyed.
Little interlude. I need those. I do not need those. I do not need those, but I do need those. You want to untarget that.
Programming Lincoln drone.
Now for some reason my fighter will
Unable to
not
comply.
dock.
Cannot comply. Negative, Commander. Unable to comply.
Oh well. I'm not too bothered by that. Seems to be a little bit bugged. So it was a pleasant little diversion.
Cargo scoop retracted.
But we need to get back on our way to Henderson Station. Or Herndon Dock. Oh, we're going to lose the fighter when I jump.
Cannot comply. Shift drive charging.
Because I can't get the fighter dock.
4,
Oh well.
3, 2, 1. Engage.
So, on to Herndon Dock, where we will refuel. And go to the missions. Threat 0. I'm not bothered. Curtis was enough of a distraction. And I've got 1 ton of panite from a degrader of the missions, which is illegal, which means I am going to have to sneak into Herndon Dock. That's going to be interesting because on this build currently I don't have any heat sinks. So I'm going to have to get in quickly. Because if I get scanned I will get fined. If I get fined I will probably get fined more than the value of the panite I am carrying. Which will means it would have been a waste of time. So we're going to do a little impromptu attempt at a little bit of smuggling. Oh, late signal. See if I get anything. No. One of the things when you're flying around a system in Elite, do keep an eye on the ships. You might pick up some nice data, which will save you trouble later on. Right, this is the station. So at the moment, I am not facing the docking port, and I want to come in as lined up as much as I can with the docking slot, so that I can get in there quickly. Right. There we go, there's the slot. Lining up as well as I can. This is pretty good actually. Come back to the throttle. Get one of the settings on here.
Hotel Echo. Station services are prepped for your arrival. Greetings, Commander.
Just bear with me a moment.
Welcome, Commander. Please
I just want to make sure. Okay. Yeah, it's checking. Right, Herndon Dock. I need to get in quickly because if I get scanned, I will end up with a fine, which will be damned inconvenient.
Landing permission granted. Vectoring for approach to landing pad 25.
There's another ship there. That Viper Mark IV trying to get in. Right, this is going to be tricky because I'm all over the place. Oh, got some data. But we've managed to get in without being scanned. So at this point I'm safe. Once I'm fully through the slot, I will not be scanned by the security services. As far as I know,
Landing gear deployed.
if they start a scan but you get through the slot before they finish the scan, their scan will fail and they won't find you.
Unsanctioned acts of aggression.
Right, so a few things to do here.
Landing complete. Ship secured.
We'll just get that out of the way. Excellent. Few bounties. Take those. Black market. There's the panel. Whoa! 298,000. Okay, so let me just see. Just go back into the commodity market. So panite down here, isn't it? Oh, okay. Not selling badly there. Contacts, black market. We need to sell that. There we go. So we've refueled, we've done loading everything up. Okay, so the system we want to get to is HR8514. So we'll just type that in here. HR8514. And the reason we are going there is that there is
Frameshift
pristine
charge detected.
pristine reserves, metallic ring, near a station, and we are aiming to do a little bit more testing on mining profitability to see if a panite hotspot can in any way compete with a void open hotspot. We've already shown that a low temperature cannot.
Ship detach complete. Access corridor is clear.
Landing gear retracted.
Alright, now that we are not carrying any illegal cargo, we can be a little bit more sedate about our exit. Nice little nebula there. Right.
Frameshift charge detected. Frameshift drive charging.
So we have 3 jumps.
You are clear to resume own navigation. FFC out.
4, 3, 2.
So we are carrying a load of low temperature diamonds, so running into more pirates is a serious possibility. And in fact, I've jumped into a system and there is a crate waiting there for me. And there he is. He is a pirate. That's fair enough. Get out of analysis mode. Get the fighter out.
Prepping fighter.
Yeah.
Stand by.
Reverse.
All systems are go. Awaiting orders.
Attack
Roger,
him.
Commander. Focusing my attack on your target.
Oh. Right. It's a bit more tasty. So I'm just going to ram in there. Okay, you are worth 130. No valuable cargo, so right. Too far. More pips into shields. This guy's got weapons that could actually present a problem. But the multi-cannons are corrosives.
Scan detected. Scan detected.
Looks like system security is showing up. I just need to make sure I'm doing enough damage.
Scan detected.
And he's done.
Looks like we got him. I'm not picking up any more threats on my scanner.
Right.
Programming limpet drone. Cargo scoop.
He dropped filament composites, so I want those. So, a brief interlude. In the meantime, let's have the
Commencing
fighter
recovery,
dock.
Commander. Stand by.
Right. So we'll just pick up these composites and then we will be on our way.
Automated retrieval complete, Commander.
2 jumps to where we're going. Gives my shields a little time to recharge a bit. Don't think anything. Oh, there's 2 more filament composites, so there's 3 items I'm going to pick up. Right. I see the web captioner is making a mess of things at times, but that's to be expected. It can't handle all of the words. I would rather have it than not have it. There we go, it's getting the last one. Shorten the journey a bit. Right.
Cargo scoop.
Get ready to jump. That is a lovely view. That's really nice. Okay, so our heat's at 37%, so we're safe to jump here. If we was at say 70 or 80, we would be at risk of doing a bit of damage to our ship as we try to jump away. But it's not there.
4, 3, 2,
So what we're going to do, get to where we're going and drop into the Panite hotspot if there is one there. We'll see what's there. Okay, and this time there has not been. Right, so no one has appeared on my scanner. It means there isn't a pirate waiting for me. This system might be worth scanning. Oh. Okay, so that's a Class M with a high metal content. Maybe. Is that a high metal content? Yeah, with an image like that, that probably is. Okay. Well, we'll take a moment to scan it. We're not in any rush. Okay. That still says it's scanning the locations. Geological 7. There are locations. Okay, let's just take these in order. Distress call. Ooh, what are you? You're a body? A human location. Interesting. No locations there. What we got here? Okay. Encoded. Degraded. Yeah. Right. Go with these first. Okay. So it's scanning it. That makes me think that there might be something there. Will we get any locations? Or geological? Oh, what's that? Convoy dispersal pattern. I suspect I've been here before. We got something here, haven't we? Nice. Well, that's going to be a body of some kind. There we go. And that'll be one of its moons. That'll be another one. Don't think there's anything more there. Lots of resource extraction sites. Okay. Icy body, no locations. Icy body, a human location. Okay, that should be a couple of there. Scanning it, so there's going to be some locations because it's not finished yet. Okay, Stula, and apologies if I'm mangling your name. It's a little bit tricky actually. The best way will be to show you, so I'll be able to do that a bit when we get to the panite. But basically they look like popcorn or a garlic bud. And it's how they react to the pulse analysis scanner that really gives them away. So I'll tell you what we'll do. You just... Let's come out of here because this is just fluff. So let's carry on our journey. Now, I don't know if there's going to be any void opal hotspots here. I don't think there will be because I don't think there's any icy rings. I'm hoping there's going to be a panite hotspot because I want to compare a panite hotspot to a void opal hotspot. But the process for finding panite rocks with a core is the same as the process for doing it for void opals, and it all comes down to how you use the pulse analysis scanner. And you're looking for a particular sort of pattern on the rock when the pulse wave hits it, and that will help you find void opals. Right, if you just bear with me a moment, there's a further lance that has just appeared right there, which means he's almost certainly a pirate. Yeah. So let's get away from the start, because they are going to interdict me. Set my power. I'm not surprised, mate. I'm generally only finding 2 or 3 cores an hour, and that's after learning how to look for them with the pulse analysis scanner, and I'm certainly not great at it, but I'm starting to have some success.
Prepping fighter base. Stand by.
Yeah. You aren't going to get through my shields before I get through yours. Oh, I think you just ran me. To no effect. Let's back up. Get the turrets on him. Dial in the power plant. So we're just going to deal with this pirate. Please excuse the interruption. He's been very rude.
Offline. Diverting power to systems. Taking critical damage.
Yeah. That's your job. Keep him distracted while I do what I've got to do.
I'm not the target here.
Well, tough. Okay, he's crumble. Worth a bit, not carrying any cargo, so there's no point trying to take any cargo off of him. So as you can see, he's not getting through my shields. I can, at my leisure, take his shields down, and then the corrosive multi-cannons will rip his hull to pieces. So basically I'm just tanking, shield tanking the combat. Right. Oh, I don't think he's dropped anything I want. Yeah, well. There we go.
Regulated speed for automated retrieval, Commander.
Right. Now let's go to the system map. So, there's rocky rings there. Metal rich and rocky. Metallic and rocky, that's the one we're going to mine. Rocky and metal rich. So what I'll do is I'll head to the metallic rings and I'll show you what I mean by pulse analysis scanner and using it to find rocks with cores, because you can only find void opals in cores, so you've got to find the rocks with the cores to find what you're looking for. But you should be finding them 1 to 3 an hour, hopefully. So you didn't have much luck yesterday. Something else to be aware of while we're travelling though, if you go to a void opal hotspot, all of these rocks, whether they're panite, void opals, got cores, not got cores, they're actually persistent, which means that the void opal rocks can be used up in a hotspot. If you go to a hotspot a lot of people have been to, the problem you may be having is basically other people have got to those rocks before you and you need to go to another hotspot. But the hotspots are very big, thousands of kilometers across. So rather than jump into the middle of the hotspot, might be worthwhile going close to the edge. Maybe no one's been there. However, it's probably more to do with just not understanding what to look for on the pulse analysis scanner, and hopefully we'll be able to show you what to look for, which means that this is where I'm now not going to be able to find any panite rocks with cores, because that's Murphy's Law. Okay, we don't want to overshoot. Might as well pick up the data on the way if there is any there. Oh, it's a mamba. Very pretty. Right. So we are going to want the detailed surface scanner. And we're off to body 5. Right. Okay, now that's a weird one. I've not mined something like this before. You can see that the rings are a long way away from the body itself. That's pretty weird. Right. This is going to be a good place for my testing. So first order of business, drop surface scanners into the rings. So This will allow us to identify hotspots where you should be able to find stuff more frequently. I'm not sure if that's been fully confirmed, but it's what we would expect. And we're going to do the outer and the inner ring.
Surface scan complete.
Okay, so there's hotspots in both of them. So we come out of there, we go into navigation, and we can see what hotspots we've got. Now, because there's no icy rings here, there are no void opal hotspots, which would have been ideal. But there is the panite, which is what I was looking for. So there's one. So what you want to do is, once you've got a hotspot that you want to look at, you want to get close to it. Now, some hotspots are really very big, and some of them are quite small. Now, if you've dropped into a res zone before, you know that you get a safe disengage. You don't get that with a hotspot. Now, I am going to try and drop in towards the edge. Rather than into the center. You see that's actually getting quite big now. Looks like we're going to be dropping in at least 1,000 clicks from the center of the hotspot. So we just start to slow down. Now, technically speaking, you can find cores and the materials you're looking for anywhere in the appropriate ring. But a hotspot is, as far as we know, the place to go for. There is a ship, could be a miner, could be a pirate. And we'll start using the pathway scanner. Okay, I'm just going to check my contacts because there's a lot of great phantoms coming towards me. They are going to be pirates, and I am carrying low temperature diamonds. So this is about to get interesting.
Understood. Booting up telepresence for fighter control. Fighter is ready. Give the order, Commander.
Right, we start with you. Yeah, okay, here we go.
Numerous enemies to choose from, Commander. So let's make our
Yeah, I know. Right, who's next? Scan him. We're not going to bother to try and take any of their cargo.
damage.
Target destroyed.
Back to the kill warrant scanner. So Buford has done an excellent job keeping those two crate phantoms off my back.
Target shields offline.
He wants 400,000 credits of my cargo. No. Not when you go down so easily. They're novices. Okay. It's just not your day.
Target shields.
They really are out of their league. Okay, let's just deal with this.
Enemy is fleeing. Target their subsystems, Commander.
Yeah, well, it's not going to do you any good.
We got him. I'm not picking up any more threats on my scanner.
Okay, you'll just bear with me a moment. We'll
Deployed. Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet.
deploy all of our collectors for mining.
Programming limpet
There's a couple of proto-light alloys there, so we'll take those. Right. So it's not unusual if you drop into a hotspot for there to be some pirates waiting for you. That's why I prefer to do this in a ship that can handle pirates. Means it might not be rigged for the most efficient mining, but it works. Right, Panite hotspot. Pulse wave. Let's see if we're close enough to the ring to start seeing any of the glow. I'm holding the pulse wave down, so it's going to continue to fire the pulses. As I get closer to the rocks, it doesn't have to be 1,000. It depends on the size of the hotspot, Stula. If the hotspot is 10,000 kilometers across, which is what the last one I was in was, then you could be 10,000 kilometers away. You just need to make sure you drop down in the orange zone around the hotspot. And that way you know that you're actually in the hotspot. Yeah, so that's your first thing you want to look at is, am I actually in the hotspot or did I actually drop outside of it? Because that will reduce stuff, your chance of finding things. Now you'll see that some of the rocks are starting to glow. And as I get closer, it will become more noticeable. Right. We'll boost a bit because... So, rocks, when the pulse hits them, will glow at different levels of intensity. You're looking for the brighter ones. Those are the ones that have more features in. Now that's the first thing you're looking for. So if a rock is low, is dull, like the one just up in my comms panel, that's not of interest. Now the next thing you want to do is this. The reason I hold the pulse down, is the first pulse you send out will just make the rocks glow. But the second and subsequent pulses, you'll start to see black lines in the rock, like the one in front of me. And there's quite a few black lines in there. So this one might actually have a core in, because if it has a lot of black lines or even black blocks, that's normally an indication of a core. But it will change as we get closer. And as this is getting closer, there might be a core in there, there might not. It's a bit of an edge case. So the other thing you can do is visually look to see if there's any fissures. And night vision can make that a bit easier to see. So first pulse, no black lines. Second pulse, the black lines start to appear. That's why you hold the pulse scanner down for a bit. You don't let go. So let's put a prospector into this, because the only way to be sure is to put a prospector into the rock and see what the prospector tells you. Right, so there's no core. There is panite. Now what we're going to do, I won't carry on with my test until we won't start a new test until we find a core. So I'll actually look and try and find a core for you. So there's one in front of us that is looking brightish. So bear in mind, doing what I'm doing, I've been finding cores 2 to 3 an hour. That's not great, and there are definitely people who are doing better than I am. Also, a point to remember is because the rocks are persistent, once you find the ones with cores, they may refresh after time. We don't know how long time, it's probably a matter of days. So once you start to come to know a hotspot very well, you could potentially come back and continue to farm it. Okay, there's a lot of black lines there. It's kind of bright. Difficult to tell if that one's going to have a core, but it's a possibility, and I've got plenty of prospectors, so I'm going to guess this isn't going to have a core. But I've been wrong on that before, so you know.
Prospector limit engaged.
Okay, no core. So there's a few bright ones there. Right, so the one on the right there, the bigger one, that's appearing a lot like the others did, and they had no core. But this one, this could be interesting. So bear in mind that the black lines there are, it's quite bright, lots of black lines, so that's looking good. Bear in mind that panite rocks or metallic ring rocks may have a different shape to icy rocks. Icy rocks with cores in tend to look like a piece of popcorn, but really it's this pulse scanner trick that will help you hone in on them. Lots of black lines on the second pulse. Right, let's put a prospector in there.
Prospector limit engaged.
No core. Okay, ahead of us we've got quite a bright one there, showing some black lines. They're getting more prominent. On the night vision there you can see what clearly looks like a service deposit. Probably not enough black lines to have a core. I want more. Yeah. I don't think this one has a core, but
Asteroid scan complete. Prospector limit
no, 10.4% panite. And by the way, I'm going to come back, although probably not today, and use this hotspot for an next bit of testing, because although panite does not sell for anywhere near what void opals do, if panite turns up a lot more frequently, it might actually be as profitable as void opals still. Now I suspect it won't be, to be fair, but I'd like to find out. So I'll mine this properly for an hour. Not enough black lines in that one. I don't think there's going to be a core in this one.
prospector limit
No.
engaged.
Although 45% gold ain't bad. Okay, so we got a few bright ones here. Right, so all of them are showing some nice black lines. Right, we're going to start with this one, and then hopefully we'll try and take in the other two as well. So as the pulse first hits, black lines, then it switches to just being bright. The black lines are starting to fill in. We're getting black spots now. That looks a lot like one that will have a core. Okay, you see how those spots are forming? Okay, as I've got a bit closer, that they're back to being black lines.
Programming limpet drone.
But let's put a prospector into it and let's see what's actually there.
Prospector limit
Core detected, right. Unfortunately, now I've put a prospector on it, if I hit the pulse scanner again, it doesn't glow. Okay. Once you've put a prospector into a rock, it won't show up on the glow. But I can drop, let me just check, I think I've got a size 3 prospector. So I should be able, yeah, okay. So, we found one with a core. Unfortunately, I rotated a bit, so I might not be able to find one of the other bright rocks that I was looking at. Oh, game just froze. Okay, hopefully this doesn't crash. But this is a bug that's been happening a bit. So I'm afraid we just have to wait this one out. Please don't. Ah, there we go. Game is unfrozen. Right. So these two. I've got my prospector on that other one, so I can always go back to it. So what I'm doing, that one is stuck. The one on the left is starting to fade. This one is staying bright, but it's not really got lots and lots of black lines in it. So I don't think that one would have a core. Okay, so I'm fairly sure that one will not have a core. So what we're going to do is we're just going to crack this panite rock. Gaz, that's interesting actually. I never realised that it was happening for people all over. Yay, the hamsters, they're tired. Right. So, in terms of the fissures, high strength, average strength, low strength. Fair number of low strengths, that's good. Seismic charge. So I'm going to put my cargo scoop out now because that will help me slow down a bit. That is useful. So we're going to put a high yield charge into a low strength slot. And that will start the countdown process. I have plenty of collectors, so that's not a problem. Excellent. Right, so that one, that's an average. I would prefer a low. Okay, so that one was an average. So we probably want to try and put a low yield into this because we're now starting to get into the blue, but we're not there completely. Low yield set, okay. That's a low strength. Excellent, we're in the blue. Right, so I can tell you this, Jular, a panite rock with a core does not look the same as an icy rock with a core. But I've seen plenty of the icy rocks that look like they, from their shape, that they might have a core. They've got popcorn and such like, but didn't. So don't rely just on the shape. It is a fairly good indicator, but it's not perfect. It's the pulse analysis scanner, and you see that they're bright, and then they switch from bright to black lines, and the black lines get more frequent, bigger, and that is what reveals
Detonation in 10 seconds.
the ones with the core. That's what you're looking for. Well done, Stular. No problem. That's what I'm hoping to do, is help people play the game a bit better.
Taking critical damage.
Wow.
Destroyed.
Oh dear.
Fighter assembly initiated.
Right, so what we should have now, a load of panite stuck on the rock which the abrasion blasters will need, and a load of panite there. Yeah, that was a little bit of a fail there.
Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone.
Good luck with it, Stular.
Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone.
Okay, so those are now off collecting all the free floating ones. So we can now... So a trick here, if you have multiple abrasion blasters and they hit at the same time, you can get multiple fragments. So I've got 2 abrasion blasters. That was only 1 fragment. Some of these will just be 1, some of these I might get 2, and that will help up your yields. Makes a real difference with the void opals. So if you can, oh, it looks like just 1 as well. If you can fit multiple abrasion blasters, I would recommend it. The bug was first identified the end of November, and Frontier have not fixed it yet. So the fact they haven't fixed it yet, I'm not sure if it's actually a bug. Two fragments that time, all the other ones were 1. So if I was just using a single abrasion blaster, I would only have got 1 fragment. If you have an Aspects and you've got 4 abrasion blasters, you could potentially get 4 fragments. And you can imagine what difference that makes with void opals. Right, so I'm about half an hour off of ending the stream. So what we'll do is we'll try and find another core, just to show how you do it, and that could well take me the remaining half an hour. Haven't got the angle on that one. Fortunately, the abrasion blaster doesn't have ammo, so you can play around with it to your heart's content. There we go. There's my panite. That was better. Right, so that little rock icon by the panite means it's free floating. The other icon means that it's still attached. So what I need to do now is just wait for my collectors to do their thing. So if anyone wants me to do anything specific in the last half an hour, please ask, but otherwise what I'm just going to do is just spend a little bit more time looking for cores, so I can get my eye in for the next part of my testing. You're welcome to watch if you wish. So, almost all back. Okay, so just out of interest, I got 15 tons of panite out of that. That's nice.
Retracted.
So we go back to the pulse wave. The reason I focus on the hotspot, by the way, you don't have to head towards the hotspot, but you can easily get yourself turned around in a belt like this, and as a result having a point of reference to make sure you're not going back over the ground you've already done is a good idea, and simplest one to use the centre of the hotspot, whether you are heading away from it or towards it. So quite bright, has black lines, they're not filling out into spots though. There's one off to the right there that's small, quite bright, and showing black lines. I really wouldn't be sure if this one would have a core or not. I suspect not. And it doesn't. But 38% osmium. Now, Thing about osmium, it can sell for 38,000 a ton if you go to the right station. Of course, at the moment, if you're mining for money, what my testing is showing is you mine void opals. Low temperature diamond hotspot I did before did not match the potential profit that the void opal hotspot I did before that did. Now this is looking good because we got some nice black lines. It's quite bright. They're not filling into spots though. There's obviously some surface deposits. Questionable whether this one would be have a core. But one of the reasons I like mining the big ship is that you can carry enough prospector limpets, it doesn't matter. So nothing bright out there. Let's boost a bit. So if this has been informative at all, and you'd like to catch the stream again, please hit the follow button, or make a note of my Twitter account, and I will be streaming again. This is actually my first stream full stop. But there will be others, Elite Dangerous as well as a few other games. This is looking very bright, lots of black lines, it's looking good. But yes, so, oh, and that's turning into spots. This seems to be a good candidate for a core. Can't see any in the night vision though. Really? No core. Samarium. That one's not got really any black lines in it at all, so I think that's not going to be one we want. We got some bright, there's a bright one there, it's just gone beyond that rock though. That one is brighter and is showing black lines. Okay, so two here, just left and right of the Panite hotspot. Lots of black lines, quite bright. But not resolving into spots at this point. So, quite possibly no cores here. No. There's the other one. Lots of black lines. Not fading. Might be the night vision there is showing us some fissures. Maybe. Put a prospector into it and see. Osmium Panite, but no core. Okay, so quite bright. Black lines are forming. Okay. Not really resolving into spots, staying as lines. Yeah, probably no core in this one.
Prospector limpet failed. Asteroid scan complete. Prospector limpet engaged.
56% platinum. Platinum can sell for 60,000 a ton.
Scan complete.
56%, every fragment you pull off of there will have between 56% of a ton and half of that, so 28% of a ton. Given that deposits that you get from core mining are something like 60 to 80% of a ton, that rock compares favourably to core mining, although because it's platinum and not planite, you'd still get far more money out of a void opal core than you would out of that rock. No, not enough black lines on that one. We'll boost a bit. Okay, a couple of bright ones there, particularly that one there. Second pulse. A lot of black lines. We'll slow down a bit as we approach. That's turning into dots, so this is looking like it could well be one with a core.
Collector limpet expired.
We're going to keep getting, yeah, lots of black areas there as we get closer. So rather than the lines fading away a bit or just staying as lines, you start to see actual black spots. And you can see what might look like fissures. Okay, so this looks like it's worth a prospector. Core detected platinum. Well, I'll blow the rock anyway because that's fun to do.
Asteroid scan complete.
So, cargo scoop.
Cargo scoop deployed. Programming limpet drone.
And it allows us to take a look at blowing the rock.
Programming limpet drone.
Right. So just find my seismic charge. Got too many different hard points on this thing. So first things first, before I start throwing stuff into fissures, I want to look at the other deposits. Because I'm not sure, but you may lose any surface deposits, for example. I think we'll lose all of these. So if there was platinum or panite or whatever I was looking for in one of those, I would lose it when I blew the rock. But there isn't any. So high strength, average strength, average strength, average strength, high strength, average strength. Right. No low ones. So this is going to take a little bit more doing. All the other rocks I've blown before have had low strength fissures, which you put a couple of high yield charges into a couple of low strength fissures, and you're most of the way to having the rock sorted out. This is going to take more.
Sequence initiated.
That's a high strength, so we'll put a high strength charge in here. High charge. That's also a high strength, so we will go with another high strength. Or I should say high yield. Strength of fissure, yield of charge. Right, average, we're close. Medium charge, starting to get in the blue, but not all the way there. So we're going to want to go for low yield charges now, which is just literally pull the trigger. Perfect. Right. So I can detonate that now.
In 10 seconds.
We got 9 resource chunks. And see that those rocks have they're only coming apart very slowly. And I'm in a big ship, so okay, starting to drift apart now. There you got 2. Two again.
Collector limpet expired.
I think I only got 1 that time. Two that time. So of course, because I'm in the condor, I have to stay outside of the rocks and maneuver around. If the rocks here were really close, other rocks were really close, that would make this awkward. So a lot of people are using ships like the Crate, the Aspects, the Python, which is a bit bigger though, so that they can get around that problem, and particularly if you're mining for void opals, where you're not necessarily going to need a lot. That makes a lot of sense. Right, so I think that might be all of the... Yeah, everything's now fully floating. So, let me just check my spreadsheet. I was getting about 18 tons of void opals out of a void opal core. Looking like a panite core is going to give me something like about 15 tons. Panite is half the price, sale price of void opals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the stream to a close here. This was my first stream, so hopefully those of you who have listened in the background, it was reasonable. I will be coming back. I'll be playing Guild Wars 2 potentially tomorrow, although later on tomorrow. I will be coming back to Elite Dangerous and doing some more mining, and what I'll be aiming to do is answer a question, which is, because panite can be burnt off of rocks with mining lasers as well as cores and other surface deposits and that, can you make as much money from mining panite as you can from mining void opals? I suspect the answer will be no, but I want to test it, so we'll find out. And thank you very much for that follow, Gaz. Thank you all, and I will bring things to a close.